Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Just Rolled Already. I'm Daryl.
And I'm the Rules Lair John.
And welcome to Game Talk. And today we will be talking about the indiscriminate problem of player and gaming burnout.
Yeah, and it's not just players; it's also game masters. They have a really bad.
Yeah, and when it happens about burnout, what we're talking about is you play a game for a long time, or you've been gaming for a long time, you've been running games for a long time, any part of an extended period of time of continually nonstop without a break.
Yeah.
For X amount of time. And we're going to talk about some of the problems we've had with burnout and how we've dealt with it. So what brought this idea onto you?
Well, I've recently suffered from a lot of burnout in the last few weeks, and it wasn't just RPing. It was actually it's a lack of RPing. Not having enough RP gets old. So it's kind of an inverse of burnout. But no, I'm getting burnout on just playing games in general. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is about me. It's just stressful time, or I don't know what, but burnout.
Okay. Well, I've had burnout, but I've also had system burnout recently. I played a ton of Pathfinder for the last 2 years.
So D20 systems?
Yeah, D20 systems in general. And I'm not saying they're bad games, but I'm kind of fed up with it. And had to take a step back. I thought about joining a few Pathfinders or 3.5 games, even 4Ed games, and I kind of looked at it and I thought, I don't really feel like doing this. I think I'm going to shy away from it for a while because we had a couple different groups running at the same time that we were associated in with, and they were all playing Pathfinder, 4Ed, or 3.0.
So all D20 systems.
All D20 systems, and it just got over the top of me because we've been playing it too much. And when you play a game too much, you kind of get sick of it. It's like eating the same thing every single day.
Yeah, it's exactly like it.
And the threat of it is actually can destroy campaigns. Even if they're good games, you're just tired of the same old, same old. I mean, yeah, the same combat, the same rules, the same situation, the same world, everything. And burnout applies in gaming. Actually, burnout applies for a lot of things, but in gaming specifically, it happens when a group is just tired of doing the same old, same old.
Yeah. Some of the more veteran members members of my group that are gamers, who I know, the first way we combated burnout was actually we each had our own game we ran.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd cycle it through the week. So we were never playing the same game twice.
Okay.
That's the best way to combat. If you are seriously like hardcore in role playing, have like 3 members who are DMs, create different campaigns. Not necessarily the same system. In fact, we had 3 different systems.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a Rift system. One was a groups, and I believe one was a just regular 3.5. So we ran 3 completely different systems. It was confusing, but we weren't bored.
I will play in another system while running another one. Currently, right now, I'm looking into running Chin the Warring States because I feel that, I ran a lot of Pathfinder. I'm tired of Pathfinder. Ran a lot of Eclipse Phase. I'm kind of done with Eclipse Phase for a while. I'm moving on to different systems, like just bouncing around, and that's how I typically fight burnout myself. And also keeping the mentality of keeping yourself pumped and ready, because if you're not thinking that this is going to be fun, it's not going to be fun.
Right.
And for the longest time, there was in my early gaming career as a player and a game master, there was the problem for the groups I was playing with is they played only 2 type of games: Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. White Wolf, War of the Apocalypse, or Vampire the Masquerade. And that's all they would do. And no matter what you did, no matter what you said, no matter who you talked to, no matter who you pushed at, it would never, ever change. And the moment I sat there and said, hey, check it out, I got the book of this, book X, and do you guys want to play it? And everyone would say no because they didn't want to play it. And I got burned out really bad. And I haven't touched any old school Werewolf the Apocalypse for a very long time. And as far as Pathfinder, I haven't ran it for almost 7 months.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my Pathfinder game that I was recently in sadly came to a close because our friend Jeremiah, who ran it, is National Guard now.
Yeah, he won't be showing up for a while, and we're going to miss him. But continuing on about the situation of burnout, what happens when you get a just in general tabletop gaming burnout? Like you're just needing to take a long hiatus or step back from gaming because you either done it too much or you just feel that your attention needs to go elsewhere.
When that happens, it's generally not the gaming. It's probably you're sick of each other's company.
Yeah.
That's most likely it. It has very little to do with the actual games you're playing, because it is a very social thing. This is directly social. It's not a. It's not. You're not. There's nothing hands off about it. So the connection with people has to be kind of fresh. That's also a factor, big factor in burnout. If you don't like seeing somebody's face, it's like, hey, I don't like your face. It's like, hey, I don't like your face either, and then they just leave, and then there's a tension there, and that can also lead to people not wanting to play, and it's mistakable for burnout. It's not wanting to be around somebody. It's mistakable for burnout.
No, that's social burnout. It's still in the gaming realms.
Right, but it's not necessarily burnout. It's maybe a dislike for somebody that somebody doesn't understand.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess you can call it a burnout, but more in the lines of a social evasion to he who should not be gained, the one who always pirated and dictated everything that went around.
Yeah, that'll make you. If it makes you not want to play the game, it's generally one of two things: burnout, or it's something. It's a social aggravator of some kind.
There's no shame if you're sitting there and your entire groups only want to play one or two different systems. It's okay to walk away and take an extended break, because some of my best games that I ran were due to gaming starvation, not burnout. I mean, I was starving the game and I couldn't find a group for a long time that could scratch that itch.
Yeah.
And I sat there, and when I finally found a group, I sat there and I went full hog at it, and I remember that feeling of being able to game again. And I've been through dry times, as well as times that I felt like I'm tired of all of this, because I've seen group burnouts, I've seen game burnouts, I've seen system burnouts, I've seen setting burnout, and I just seen people tired of playing these games.
I've on very rare occasions have I felt another person's sentiment, like in the sense of I talked to him and it's like I don't game anymore. It's like, why didn't you game? And it's generally age, family comes into the picture, things of that nature, and that'll actually cause you to permanently stop gaming sometimes. Very rarely, well, actually not very rarely, it's on occasion, roughly let's say about 25% of the time, you'll get like the gaming will still carry over to the marriage or to the the what have you. When there's a significant life change, there'll be something that directly influences gaming. It can't be, again, this is one of those things that can't be mistaken for burnout, because burnout is like, I'm sick of playing this game. It's just too much. I've been rolling D6 for the last 27 years. That sort of thing. That's some serious burnout.
I would have vomited on the books already just from the amount of gaming for 26 years. I sat there what the heck? Why would I be playing this game for 26 years?
Carve a finger into a different die just to see some variation.
Yeah.
It's intense, but
yeah.
Oh.
Wow. It does get a bit weird too, but when I'm trying to think of other techniques to battle burnout, but most of the time I do a setting switch or a game switch.
Yeah, you just gotta keep varied. That's like the simple rule.
Yeah, it's a spice cupboard. You don't need salt and pepper. If you keep on using salt and pepper all the time, you kind of lose your taste for it, and you just can't deal with it. If you eat pizza for an entire year, yeah, it's tasty. There's different kinds of it, but it's in the end pizza.
But you're not gonna get sick of pizza if you can vary it. Never. You'll never get sick of pizza if you can always have a different topping.
Really?
Never.
I have.
You can have white sauce, rye bread, freaking
whole
anchovies,
wheat, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not like that. I actually.
You're a very finicky eater, then.
I'm a finicky eater, yeah, but that's because I cook all my meals.
Oh yeah.
And I've had people complain about that too in the past.
They cook all your own pizzas.
Yeah. No, thank you. Okay,
easy.
Let's take a look at maybe sometimes you feel like this game is too complicated, be doing too many complex things.
If that happens, it's not a fault of the it's kind of a fault of the players and the DMs. If it's complicated, it's not anything dealing with the game itself or the setting causing burnout. It's that somebody hasn't been informed. Mm-hmm. Once you're informed enough, you're gonna that it won't feel too overwhelming. It shouldn't. Maybe if it does, maybe you shouldn't be playing that setting.
No. And you were talking about how earlier, it's not related to tabletop gamings, but you were talking about when you were playing PlanetSide 2 for a long time, and then you started having this kind of an attack on you.
Yeah.
And that caused you to kind of feel an invasion and burn out onto it in general.
That was because I was part of the leadership, and I had been essentially pressured while in that position, and I was pressured so much that I no longer wanted to step up to take on leadership role.
So you
So I've kind of stepped back from that for now.
yeah, and then you picked up something else that's entirely different.
Entirely different, with a bunch of guys from the same outfit or from the same clan who are enjoying it just as much as I am.
Yeah. Okay, and I don't play online games. I'm actually in a 16-bit old school gamer. I like to play the classics.
16-bit. You kids and your fancy 16 bits. I remember back in my day, Minecraft wasn't a game. We had actual mountains made of stone. We beat those mountains of stone with sticks.
Punch trees with your fist and such.
We had to punch trees with our fists to get sticks. And then we dug straight into the deep molten core of the earth, hand scooped lava out, and forged into chainsaw blades. And thus Chuck Norris was born.
Yeah, and I'm trying to imagine what Jeremiah would sit there and say, because he actually was running a single system and setting for I don't know how long. I think he said like 5 years.
Oh God, no! 10 years.
10 years?
10 to 15 years.
Wow.
It's because he put so much time and effort into his mythology and his setting, but he's had to revamp it twice now. He lost 10 years of work on his hard drive crashed. It was a damn shame. It was what it was.
Well, okay, that guy is an extreme example of he's gonna burn out sometime. Maybe he doesn't get burnout because of the fact that he plays with me, and you got Kylie had a complaint about me once that was really funny, but it made me baffled. He said, "You give us a taste of everything, and then you take it away and move on to something else. I want to stick with one thing." And I said, "I don't. I'm looking for something that will feel right rather than, okay, everyone likes this. I'm looking for my enjoyment here."
Yeah, but yeah, that is kind of baffling.
Because
That's baffling to me. What your stance is, because it's like saying you don't have a particular favorite.
no, I don't have a favorite system. I have preferred systems, but I keep games I like. I don't have a all-time favorite reigning champion forever and ever. I have a preference for time being, and it's not like, okay, for a while I'll play Pathfinder. Okay, then I'll switch up for Eclipse Phase, then Dragon Age, and then Star Wars Saga, or maybe even Werewolf the Apocalypse, or maybe even Vampire the Requiem, or Mummy the Resurrection, or anything. I sit there and I bounce around to all the things I have because, yeah, I have a collection. I have all these books. I don't want them just to sit there.
True, that is true.
And it's just my personality type. I'm not saying that I don't want to sit there and change games every single time. The way I see it is that maybe I should keep running around to see if there's going to be a new favorite for a while, because the longest reigning champion for me was Pathfinder for the longest time because I was a very avid 3.5 fan. And when that suddenly changed, I felt that it was time for me to start expanding my horizons.
Yeah, once you've hit a burnout, say, of knowledge of a subject, then it can become tedious and old. Once you know everything, or you think you know everything about it, it's like you've been through that same song and dance a million times. It's the point at which you start making token characters.
Yeah, and I like the aspect of changing around systems. But that may not be the solution for everyone at all. Maybe it's more in the lines of taking a different approach onto something. For example, what I would do is sometimes you see me do my infamous homebrew rules.
Yeah, they are infamous, all right.
Okay, but they're entertaining, aren't they?
No.
Oh, you're telling me you don't like Gubbin Points.
Oh, no, Gubbin Points is awesome.
Okay, what about my original experience system?
That's actually pretty cool, too.
Okay. And then all these other small little twerks.
Like what? Like what? Like, oh, no, swords can't cut through metal. What? No. Things like that. It's like,
What are you talking about? It can pierce through metal. It doesn't slash through metal. It drives through it. You stab repeatedly.
Something like, God, what was it? Oh, God. It's just that when you tweak something, you make a broken-ass something or other, and it goes generally against us. A few times we've had it's broken for us. It's just, your tweaks are always like, you always break things when you tweak them.
Well, that's because
The Heart Staker?
Okay,
that's a little broken. It's like, oh,
no, that's because
on a natural 20, it stakes them. Well, shit, it doesn't matter if they're undead.
Okay, then let's take another view. Okay.
Hits him in the heart. It's like,
All
it
right.
doesn't matter.
Okay. I'm the mad scientist. You're the guy with the clear hypothesis. Okay. I have an idea and I want to make it work. It doesn't matter how irrational or rational it is. I'm going to make it work or make an attempt to make it work. I have an idea. I run with it. It's just what I do. And that's something that you look into creativity. And sometimes you can sit there and change a few things around and make a new spin on an old classic. All right, you've been playing Dungeons and Dragons Brown Box Edition since it came out. That is a very cut and dry game.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and nothing wrong with the game, but say that you feel okay.
I bet you remember paying the 79 cents in the back of a magazine for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Say that.
that's-
Okay. If you remember Brown Box, it's D6 for every weapon damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's been some changes in the dies recently, and there's been some changes with the times. Well, say that you suddenly start in those back in that time. You've been doing it for the years that was in print or being in support, and you're like, okay, well, this doesn't seem accurate. Doesn't seem right. I mean, every weapon is the same: axe D6, sword D6, dagger D6, sword, great
Needle
sword
D6.
Okay. Then you suddenly start making things up. You start adding things. You make a new flavor. You change the game a little by little.
And then I strangle him for deviating.
Well, sometimes people like change. It's just a natural thing that occurs. When people get bored of something, they change something.
Yeah, I can see that, but like changing one thing generally isn't significant enough to counter burnout, because there's a very particular reason. There are very particular reasons. I should say there's more than one reason that are all factor into why someone burns out from a game. It's too much knowledge of the system. The system's too familiar, and generally, you're too familiar with other people. It's just there's nothing new. If there's nothing new, you burn out. Period.
Or if over an abundance of something, too.
Well, yeah, but it's generally it's if there's nothing new.
Okay, you play in 3 different campaigns of 3 different settings. Let's say 3.5 Pathfinder OGL games. You're playing in Eberron, Golarion, and Ravenloft.
That's all the same thing, though.
Okay, but to some people that's entirely different. They're different feels of the same kind of system.
Yeah, but you understand there's like a...
But then there's a problem. It's still the same game.
Yeah, it is the same game. That's why I'm
Okay.
saying it's not different.
That doesn't cure burnout. No. That actually speeds it up, because if you're playing those 3 campaigns each week, it's going to be...
You gotta have... If you're gonna do that way, you gotta have 3 different DMs.
Yeah. Well, let's just say that's the fact. But still, nonetheless, you're playing the same game.
I
Now-
don't think I'd burn out, though.
Okay.
As long as as long as it's kind of new, like it's different, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like as long as it's being delivered differently, it's fine.
And when I was doing gaming, when I hit my super stride, okay, when I was living up in the larger city of Salem, Oregon, I was in 4 groups each week. I was running one, and that was a Werewolf of the Apocalypse. I was playing in a 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons. I was playing in a entirely homebrew game that was using D6, and I was playing in Star Wars D20. Now that's a lot of variety right there, but there was coming to a point that I was actually getting tired of gaming.
I have a feeling that it may have been like this is one of those things. It's like it goes back to it may not be actually the game.
I had 4 different groups with entirely different people. Okay, how is that? This is the counter argument to what you're saying, is that
But
maybe...
now you have to say what do you feel like going to the games? Going to the game, what did it feel like?
Oh, it felt like great when I was first started, but when the moment it carried on, I realized this is taking a lot of time and I don't have a lot of variety. Okay, yeah, I'm playing games, but gaming is still gaming and it's just eating at my time. Does it take the fact that maybe I like to go out to see my other friends or like to go out and do other things?
That's probably it. It may be that you're just not feeling like you're paying enough time to your other social life. That may very well be it.
Yeah, it's still a burnout nonetheless.
It's a bit different because burnout is literally I don't want to play this game because this game is this game. That's burnout.
Gaming is still gaming in general. You use dice or some sort of mechanic to determine a result or failure.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It's true.
And nonetheless, that is the basics of it down in the essence. Maybe sometimes I like to sit there and watch a movie with some buddies, or maybe sometime I like to go camping or hiking or fishing or something.
This is a glass half full, glass half empty case.
Yeah, this is nothing more than just me
It's semantics.
Yeah, semantics and rattling your cage because I talked about home brewing, which you were like your vein pops on your forehead. It's beautiful when it happens because every single time I do it, you sit there and you get more and more angry.
You're not going to need alcohol after this, right?
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
I win. You lose.
No, I'm going to drink.
It's called house rules. My house, my rules.
My booze. Ha!
No, it's not. You gave it to me.
But who gave it to you?
You.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm cutting this entire section down.
Damn you.
Okay.
I'm going to get some alcohol, though.
Okay, whatever. And getting back on topic.
Where were we?
We were talking about the about me.
Half full, half empty.
Yes, semantics. Yes, it's
Well,
entirely semantics, but we're
because it's literally, I'm saying that it's not a matter. Well, it's not what I'm saying and what you're saying. It's your viewpoint is that you're actually sick of gaming because the games seem too similar, and it's the gaming that's the issue. In reality, it may very well be there's not enough of spending time elsewhere.
yeah, it's taking over your
Something
life.
else is taking your attention away from it, not that too much attention is being put towards it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what you're trying to say is that gaming is, we're talking about system and setting specific and group.
Yeah, it's system setting and
Well, there doesn't seem
Let's-
like there's a whole lot more for us
play-
to continue on about this one because it's just, we covered
it's
all
our rant.
It's a rant, but it's also we covered a lot of points. I mean, if somebody out there has an idea that, hey, we're missing something important, or they think of a different viewpoint than we do, because
If you got something to point out, please do.
yeah, please do, because it's always wonderful. If there's something that you want to talk about, you can even do a video response or even a little PM down below. It comes in handy when it comes to viewpoints. These are all subjective ideas.
Yeah, because we're not the experts. We don't claim to be the experts.
There's
We
no such-
know things. We're not experts about things.
There's no such thing as a gaming expert. There's people who will debate with me on that one. But I will say somebody's knowledgeable about it, but an expert is somebody who's recognized by professionals that they are the overseeing authority.
Yeah, like
And there's no such thing as professional, in my opinion, either, because it means you make money off it.
well, if Gygax was still alive, he'd be
He's-
the expert of the first Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, because he created it.
Exactly. If you created it, then you're an expert.
Yeah.
But until you create something and you put your money where your mouth is.
Okay. But anyways, I'm Daryl.
And I'm the rules lawyer, John.
All right. Thank you for listening.